This is TWiT.
The Airbnb apocalypse. In New York City decided to crack down on short-term rentals this week. That crackdown took effect. Thousands of Airbnbs gone from New York City. 70%. City has started enforcing a law that says you have to register your home, that you have to be there. See, I never rent an Airbnb where the owners are there. That's like, I don't want that. Like, then I'm a guest in their house. I don't like that. In August, there were 22,000 short-term listings in New York City. As of September 5th, 6,841. How does Airbnb succeed if cities decide? And by the way, I should say, there's a reason why New York did this. It's a housing shortage. And people are buying apartments, buying houses, renting apartments, not to live in, but to rent them out.
And there's already an inventory shortage of housing. And so in the big cities, people are buying these properties to rent or to put on Airbnb. And now, like, people that want to live in the houses are having to, one, if they can find one and get an offer in on time, they're having to pay, 20-30% above asking price. And it's just gotten out of hand. And this needed a crackdown. And I think that the time is overdue. And you're going to see other places. Hawaii had already started to do it. I believe Paris is looking at doing it because so much of their inventory, housing inventory, had been bought up by it.
Would you short Airbnb at this point? Is this trouble? Or
I don't buy tech stocks, but I think Airbnb.
I don't even know what shorting is. I wouldn't know how to do it if you had a gun in my head.
But I do think it will be a challenge for Airbnb, especially for the next 5 years, because this inventory shortage is not going to be fixed soon. It takes time to build houses, and so I'd say the next 5 years are going to be tough for them, or there's going to be
Sam, you agree?
Creative solutions.
I think it's just the general trend of the regionalization and the fragmentation of the internet, and kind of the end of our globalized utopia of openness, right? And so, you have Europe cracking down and doing their own thing on internet companies. You have cities cracking down on Airbnb and Uber and all that stuff. So it's fine. They should control their own destiny in terms of how they want to approach supply and the cost of places, et cetera. Airbnb will survive through this, right? They'll be the only game in town doing certain things.
We're getting an Airbnb in Green Bay in a couple of weeks, and it's great. It's near the stadium, so we can walk to the game. It's got a barbecue pit in the backyard. And Green Bay, Wisconsin doesn't really care if Airbnb does business in Green Bay.
That's right.
And
they have already won. I mean, they have more inventory. They have more room inventory than the top 5 hotel chains combined at this point. Airbnb does.
Wow.
I think it's, don't quote me on that. Don't put that in a story, but I think that's the number.
And by the way, Airbnb is in the hotel booking business too. So they have a hedge against cities doing this. They bought Hotel Tonight in 2019. And, it's kind of compatible. Hotel Tonight it's at this point, it's full service booking, but they kind of specialize in that last minute, I need a place to, I need a place to stay.
Right.
And so Airbnb could, in theory, just divert people to Hotel Tonight rooms that it has available.
And incidentally, if you're in the Green Bay, Wisconsin area, we're going to do a nice meetup at the Hinterland Brewery, September 29th. Save the date. Put that in your.
Leo, I thought you were going to say you're doing a nice meetup at the Airbnb. Just exactly what they want.
Come over to the Airbnb. It's going to be great. We're going to have kielbasa and bratwurst, and everybody. It'll be fun.
Airbnb is also starting to sell experiences too, right? They have a great app. They have a great ecosystem.
I've seen those ads. Those ads are really, they make me want to do it. They're really good. They find unusual rentals and that really looks like fun.
That's kind of what I was thinking about when I said getting creative. If the inventory issue starts to become, and they get cracked down in some of these big touristy cities, then I think you're likely to see them pivot into putting more energy into some things like that.
What about...
Look, at the end of the day,
go ahead.
Yeah. I just say it's the same trend. At the end of the day, it's look, these tech companies went from things people didn't care about, right, to these huge successes people didn't expect very quickly. And now everyone wants their pound of flesh where they're going to get it. And if the cities want their pound of flesh, they'll crack down or drive prices up. They'll put fees in. It's just a big negotiation. Airbnb is big enough and far enough along they'll do just fine in that meta negotiation, right?
Meanwhile, don't invest in WeWork, because I hear they're not doing that well.
Well, this might be the moment. It's probably free.
That's cheap. Yeah. Actually, they pay you to buy their stock. It's a great deal.
Oh, hey, that's a really nice iPhone you have there. You totally picked the right color. Hey, since you do use an iPhone and maybe use an iPad or an Apple Watch or an Apple TV, well, you should check out iOS Today. It's a show that I, Micah Sargent, and my co-host Rosemary Orchard host every Tuesday right here on the TWiT network. It covers all things iOS, tvOS, HomePodOS, watchOS, iPadOS. It's all the OSs that Apple has on offer, and we love to give you tips and tricks about making the most of those devices, checking out great apps and services, and answering your tech questions. I hope you check it out.